Hey everybody, welcome to my farm. If you don't know me, my name is Claudette. I own a U-Pig flower farm in Zone 7B, Long Island, New York, and this is our end of the summer update. So we just got back to our farm. We were in North Carolina for 2 weeks and it is absolutely gorgeous here. This has been our best season yet, as in terms of the flowers, in terms of the growth for our business. And I just want to show you around because it's looking spectacular. It's prime season. My red spike amaranth are like 6 feet tall. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the farm, what the plans are, how it's been going, because I haven't really had a farm update on what's going on in the farm. So I just want to walk you through it a little bit. There are so many flowers, guys. We planted about 7,000 plants on the farm this year, and they are doing all amazing. 60% of the farm was by plugs, and 40% was direct seeding. So I just want to show you the things that are on a farm, the flowers that work best for us, the flowers that did not work the best for us. I just want to give you a whole look at what this U-Pig flower farm basically looks like, what the plans are, and just a beautiful summer update. So if I pan over here, it looks like a sea of zinnias, but it's actually 3 separate rows of zinnias. As I get closer, you can see the separation. There's a path over there. And then the next row over, there's another row right there that's separated just like this one. So 3 rows right here. And they are 110 feet long, 6 feet wide. So in each one of these rows, there's about 600 zinnias. So here alone, there's almost 2,000 zinnia plants, and it looks spectacular. Out of these 2,000 plants, the first row was plugs, and these 2 rows right here were actually directly seeded. And they popped up even quicker than I thought. They were blooming opening day where I thought they weren't even gonna bloom opening day, but they are looking great. They're about 4 feet tall, and I just have spectacular blooms. Our celosia is in this next row, and we have a couple different varieties of celosia. And these took a little bit of a hit. Some of them, now they're looking pretty dry. Some of them, when we first fertilized, took a hit and they died a little bit because we had a big boo-boo mess up. They rebounded. They're just taking a little while, but look, they look really beautiful. So far, these first 4 rows, I would do exactly the same. I love the opening 3 rows. It's just spectacular when you walk in, so many flowers. The celosias, even though you may say, oh, they don't look so good, they fill a purpose, is that they give it a little bit textural difference in bouquets. You walk here, there's choices of other things. So I would leave that exactly the same. So let's go to the next row. In the next row, I have ageratum, which is now putting on some brown. They have to, I have to really cut them back because they will, look at how green they are. They're gonna put on new blooms, see that? But they get a little bit brown when you leave them too long, and not enough people cut off of them. So they're gonna keep going. They're not dying back, but they just need a little trim. Now the gomphrena, they just keep getting bigger and more lush. You don't see any brown on these because these just keep going. The flowers, if you don't know gomphrena, just stay like this forever, and they just look so awesome. We have statice next, and the statice is going. I have some weeds in there, but again, something awesome. The China asters did amazing. I put them a couple years ago. I didn't like them. There were too many weeds. This year we kept up, and they look great. Now they weren't cut enough, so you'll see there's a lot that needs to be cut back, but they're doing pretty good. I directly seeded some red spike amaranth, and they are really, really cool. They're about 5 to 6 feet tall right now, and they just look so different on the farm. Like let me just pan you this way. I mean, how pretty does that look? Something additional to the farm. These are my African marigolds, also directly seeded in. So in this row, what would I do differently? It's questionable here. I love the red spike amaranth. I'll keep that the same. I love the marigolds. Okay, so the China asters, even though I just told you they did spectacularly, I really think it's too many. It is pretty though. I'm deciding what to do about that. If I want to put that many, or if I want to put more statice, or what to do. Now that they're in the bloom and I'm looking at it on camera right here, I actually really do like it. But You tell me what you think about the China asters. Yay, nay, what are we thinking? All right, let's go to the next row. Okay, the next row was cosmos. They were planted in pretty early, so you can see they're looking dying back. These were directly seeded, so they're looking a little bit better, like a second succession planting. And then when we get over here, there were more zinnias that were seeded in. These were the Oklahomas. Over here, we have scented geraniums, which, wow, they're looking really tall. So this is interesting. Why do I have this? It looks so pretty as a filler, just for the greenery. People don't pick it, but I do, and I love it. And it's just a small space, you can see, but it's really awesome. I have snaps in here. They're looking great. Weeds, which are not looking great. And then the Rudbeckia, which this was the Sahara, just a sea of just those burgundy tones, looking very, very pretty. Okay, so about this row, what would I do differently? Well, these are going to come back next year. The Sahara are perennial, so they are coming back. No decision there. The snaps might come back. Would I put them again? I'm not sure. They were actually, I only had them on the farm this year because they were some extra flowers the grower had for a really good price, and I just took them because I said, oh, I have extra space. I don't know if I necessarily would buy them. Just because if you watch my videos before, snaps like cool temperatures, we really start up in July, even though they're looking pretty good right now, but I don't know. The scented geranium, same thing. They were a really good price, kind of on clearance, and I put them in. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm going to get them again next year. So that's hit or miss. And then let's talk about the cosmos down at the end. Okay. So cosmos are like, I hardly see anybody pick cosmos on my farm. Cosmos were really only planted for me for a whimsical look on the farm, something different for pictures, and I still believe that. Now the problem here was I would not plant so much of the first planting so that we're at end of August and they look like that. I probably really would have succession planted more so they look more of like this, and then I probably would have even put another succession. So I'd put the same amount, but I'd split it into 3 just so it looks a little bit healthier and evened out. So will I put cosmos again? I will, because I have the space, and just because I have the space and they're pretty, not really because of picking or for bouquets. They're just really a really pretty whimsical flower for the ambiance of the farm. Okay, when we look at the next row, this was the first planting of zinnias, and they're huge. They're like almost 5 feet tall. They're getting some powdery mildew because they were the first planting. So next year, they were put in because I panicked and wanted a full-size zinnia because the others had died. I think next year I won't panic and get those as big, so they won't powdery mildew in August, so I don't think that'll be a problem next year. Over here we have the celosia and marigolds. The marigolds said African marigolds, but they were the wrong variety, so they're short. The celosia is also pretty short, so they might have been the wrong variety from a farm that I purchased from, which is fine. And then there's more sea of zinnias, which I'm going to show you up close. And I want to show you this up close because this is a new variety from Johnny Seeds, the Aora. And it is just spectacular colors, and I will definitely order this again. It's so beautiful. This was the succession planted out July 4th. This was planted, and look at how beautiful this is. So this was the July. It's looking great. This row was directly seeded, looking amazing. And then there's another zinnia row behind that looking awesome. Okay, so if you're really looking at this, you're probably going, Claudette, this is like so many flowers. Do people even come to your farm to pick these flowers? So let's be real with the numbers here. Let's be real about why this is so many flowers. And I really don't need all of these flowers. I do this for the ambiance because honestly, I'm doing probably 60 bouquets a week. This is like for 350 bouquets a week, which I don't need. Now, this is a U-Pick flower farm. It's an experience. People come for an experience to walk the fields. If I wanted to do this just for the production of what I needed, this would probably be what, 3 rows out of 10. But who would want to walk just 3 rows of flowers? It wouldn't get that real wow factor. So a lot of this is planted just because I need it to be an experience for the people. And that's basically what this crazy amount of flowers is for. Of course, I would love to have, my goal really is to have 125 people a week. 150 would be great. But this is a work in progress. It's a new location. And right now I'm probably doing about 50 bouquets a week. If I have an event, I'm doing more like 80 bouquets a week, which the events have been great. But this is a ton of flowers. This is like way too many flowers for the amount of people coming. But I just told you why it's like that. So you're probably saying, I didn't really hear much of you wanting to change many things here. And that is because this really has been my favorite season, my most wow factor season. Like, I come out here and I can't even believe what this looks like. It's like a dream come true for me. There's a farm in upstate New York that I visited like 4 years ago, and I saw her farm and I just couldn't believe what the flowers looked like and how healthy they were. And I feel like I'm walking on her farm the way that my flowers are. So this is the epitome of where I always wanted to be and never really thought this could actually be. So I am super proud of what this looks like and how many flowers are here. So what would I change? Not much. I would just change a little bit on the cosmos. I don't think anything here I'd say, oh, I really hated that this year. It turned out phenomenal. So there is not much that I would probably change. I really loved everything. So yeah, it was a great season, and we actually still are open until mid-October. So this is going to keep going, keep producing. It's a good season monetarily. We've been doing pretty well, except the last 2 weeks. We have not had that many people here in August, it was really a shame. I'm going to be honest here. I made $200 last weekend, which is horrible. If that was how much I was making every weekend, I would be losing just like $10,000 on the season or more. So that can't continue. But then I had a weekend where I made almost $3,000 for an event. So, a couple of those weekends filled with off weekends. And honestly, I've had no, knock on wood, like rain on weekends. So that hasn't put me behind either. So it is what it is. We're, approaching, I think it's halfway through the season now. Yeah, we're more than halfway through the season. So it's going okay. It's going okay. I wish there were more people here, of course, because there are so many flowers. But I am really, really happy with what's here. And I'd love you guys to comment and know what you think about it, what you think I should do. The only thing that I will not do is weddings, so please don't tell me that. They can come DIY this all they want to. I will not make bouquets. That is not my thing. But thank you for watching. I love to hear your comments, and I'll see you guys soon.